A true teacher would never tell you what to do, but give you information to make your own informed decision. My name is Ristophilis, and those of you who have been here since the beginning, to make this entertaining, I'm going to be speaking like this the entire video. But you are already awoke to run and gun and beasting. But if you want to be the Reaper, you got to use certain weapons. And from a top-ranked Gambit ad clearer, I'm going to give you that top advice. So stay tuned. And subscribe and never miss an episode as well. So let's get on into this mug. Number 1. Better Devils. There's only one Better Devils, and that's the explosive rounds, threat detector, or whatever other perks. Just have explosive rounds, because a body shot, a headshot, a ground splash damage, or shared damage is devastating to the AI, which is a great aspect in any run and gun weapon. You can shoot it anywhere around them, do damage, and they always do more damage than non-explosive rounds. So don't cheat yourself out of damage, and don't be trying to be so critical in your shot, because you're only slowing yourself down and your team. So put a gun on that just keeps going without having to stop. And if you have to have 13 rounds, I highly recommend it, because the 13 round Better Devils, if you put a backup mag on it with the right setup and perks, is freaking nasty. So that is a must-have, and probably the gun I'm going to start out with this DLC in Season of the Drifter, because we're going to be under light, I'm going to need that extra damage, and this is going to be the holy grail for me for the first few weeks. If you have to use a scout rifle, maybe we're under light, or maybe there's a lot of shriekers, you have to use explosive rounds on a Nameless Midnight and some reload perk, and then whatever other side perks, or a purpose from Trials, if you still have that from the year 1. Those open up so many opportunities, especially if you can't get in close in the fight. So you have up close CQC where you can hop and bop like you're seeing here, and then it also has the range properties, and then the explosive round does more than non-explosive. So if you have to use a scout rifle, make sure it's a Nameless Midnight 180 scout rifle with explosive rounds, or the Purpose 200 with explosive rounds. Those are the two best options if you just can't get in the fight, but your job is the Reaper, so you have to stay in the fight and kill ads. It's all about run and gun, and when you can control the ads with the explosive round, that's what it's all about basically. It's just having a controlled ad environment. Machine guns, no doubt, are going to be wrecking, and most Reapers are probably going to be rocking machine guns. So Surrounded, Kill Clip, Rampage options, Feeding Frenzy, Thunderlord is going to be used quite a bit. I can see that being a thing. And the Avalanche, of course, if you got one of those still wreck hardcore as well. They're not that accurate, but they are still really good. Any machine gun for a Reaper roll is just going to be a go-to. You're not going to have ever a wrong choice by having that. They down ads quick. They're good for boss DPS, for majors, all the ads above, basically. And you have big magazines. And if you put a backup mag on, or a Surrounded spec, or a Rampage spec, whatever you got, it's just an obvious choice for a Reaper roll. I didn't capture any gameplay with it, but if you're on an Orpheus Rig Hunter, Cerberus +1 and the tether goes really well together. The farther back you are in hip firing, the more damage it does. So when they're all tethered, it's really nice. Telesto, with the buff that it recently got, it's pretty nasty now. I never used it that much over my timelines, but it is going to be wrecking a lot in the Drifter season. And then, of course, Tractor Cannon, just to go over a couple exotics that I recommend for any Reaper for that boss damage and overall damage in general. Those guns are definitely going to be shredding this season. The blockers this season are more powerful than the Ogre before, so you might need some knockback power from Jotun and Sleeper Simulant to keep and help your other teammates keep that dump station clean. Also, Colony for invaders trying to mess up your whole strat. Throw those out, let them go to work. With that 25% bonus buff damage, it might not be a bad idea this season. To move on to the final recommended exotic, the Two-Tailed Fox. With the rocket buff happening, this thing might actually be pretty sick depending on enemy shields, but overall, Sleepless, Cluster, Field Prep, Alloy Casing, so you got that double reload and then triple reload once you have the Field Prep reload involved, and then you're also getting that Scavenger pickup and that Reserve extra in Reserve. So it's overall, quick launch is a beast to go. Do a boss spec on it. An overall favorite rocket of mine in the entire game. The handling is great. Just whip it out, throw it where it needs to go. On bosses, it's great. Really great on multiple targets. And with the max blast rocket, you're going to have that 60 to 65% bonus buff damage. So initial blast is going to be a lot of damage, and it's going to be really wide. So strats are going to be ultimate with this all day long. The rocket is going to be ultimate, especially on shots like this. That initial blast would have been so much more, and the cluster wouldn't have even hit anyways. So you're getting most of the damage. Sins of the Past, even though it's an older rocket, is still a great choice for anybody that wants to use a rocket. And with Ambitious Assassin, with the buff and the rockets happening, have 2 in the chamber if you want. Just a great overall option. BRAYTECH is still one of the highest handling rockets in the entire game, which means it aims and gets on target faster by having higher handling. Alloy casing as well, and quick launch, so as soon as you change to it, it throws out immediately with no pause time. This weapon, but not only this one, but mainly this one and another one. Such a beast. No other primary in the game can keep up with this primary. It doesn't matter. I can't even hardly use other guns anymore, to be honest. The Grave Robber, the kill clip, the ability to do unlimited kill clips on it against trash mobs is insane. But I don't know how hard the Reckoning or Prime is going to be. So being under light in the beginning, it could struggle. But if it doesn't, I'm going to be using this. If it does, I'm going to be using Better Devils. I don't know yet. This thing is nasty though, man. Mercury Lost Sector on Earth also, Shaft 13. You can farm this out. Here's the unlimited kill clip. You throw it in, and then you reload it, and then you reload it again, and then kill clip it again, and then keep going. Such a nasty freaking primary, and it already hits so hard. It does a more body shot damage than Pillagers. Pillagers do more crit shots, but I don't really hit a lot of crit shot with submachine guns, so having that extra body damage and the kill clip going on, super beast time for a primary, and I highly recommend everybody farm that out as if it's a quest in the game to get, because it's that much worth it. I promise you, when you get it, you're going to be like, holy crap, I can't stop anymore. It just keeps freaking going over and over and over again. You can just stay in the enemy's face constantly and just shred to your heart's content, for real. There's only 4 fusions in Destiny 2 in my book. That is the Timeline's Vertex. And if you don't have a Timeline's Vertex and you need an Arc, a Solar, and a Void fusion, these are the 3. The Prolium FR3 with a Rampage threat detector, something with Rampage on it, and as many rounds as you can get. 8 rounds Rampage threat detector is really beast and signal for range. And then main ingredient, Rampage auto-loading holster, because reloading that gun sucks. So those two go combination well. And then bottom, the charge rate, also hated. So main ingredient with the less charge rate is also really, really nice. And then moving on, KERENTIL FR4 for our Void, kill clip, hip fire, liquid coils. If it wants to be a hard-hitting fusion, let's max it out with liquid coils and all that jazz. But like I said, Timeline Vertex when Faction Rally comes back, that's really the one you need to get. 660s are the best in the game for PvE because it takes the same number of shots to kill all adds, whether you got an 860 or a 660. So it's just a beast to have. Faster charge, better pull to string shots together. Everything about them are just the ultimate running gun. So Timeline Vertex always going to take the cake. But like I said, if you need a good Solar, Arc, and Void, those rolls or similar combinations are my go-tos. Reapers using shotguns. So this season, in the past I've never really cared about primary shotties, but I did hang on to a Duskrock Blues with Pulse Monitor and Grave Robber, which does refill the entire mag on a melee kill. And also if I'm injured, it puts 3 rounds in. So it's always about up-close aggression with this shotgun. If you have a similar roll, it's going to be beast going up from 55 RPM to 70, and on top of that, it's getting buffed. I still think Badlanders and Akilos are going to wreck. If you have a threat detector auto-loading holster Badlander, in my opinion, it's the better choice. Because of the nerf to a kilo, having the auto-loading holster now becomes way more valuable than what the a kilo bonus damage is. You can keep going from primary back to shotgun over and over, and it just makes combat flow way more seamless when you're speed clearing. As far as auto rifles, if you don't like using breakneck or don't have a breakneck, Hazard of the Cast with Grave Robber or Ambitious Assassin and some kind of bonus damage perk like Kill Clip and Rampage are what I would recommend. That would be the fastest speed clearing version if you had that kind of Hazard of the Cast, such as this one. But if you don't have those kind of perks on it, no kind of either more ammo or damage, don't use it at all. If you want to dabble in the grenade launcher 25% buff, some perks I recommend for speed clearing, using Edge Transit as an example, would be Ambitious Assassin, Field Prep, Rampage, Spike Grenades, something that makes it reload fast, anything that gives it an equal amount of velocity and blast radius, but I like to have a little more blast radius, especially with them being buffed. That means that blast radius is going to hit a lot harder now, so it'll down adds that aren't really as close to the initial blast area, you know what I mean? So those are really the only perks. I don't really like to speed clear with grenade launchers, and I do not like Fighting Lion over other options that I have, so Fighting Lion definitely not for me for ad clearing. I don't know. I've always felt it slowed me down so much compared to fusion rifles, so I don't really mess with it. But other than that, that is the grenade launchers that I recommend for the perks, and whatever you want on whatever grenade launcher you're going to be using. But Rampage, Ambitious Assassin, Field Prep, that's really it. So hopefully that gives you just a general idea of kind of the weapon loadouts you need when you're trying to be the Reaper. It's all about killing as fast as you can while everybody else does their job, and you have to have the right loadouts. So that's really all I'm getting at with this video, is pay attention to what guns you're loading out with. Just because it hits hard doesn't mean it clears ads fast. Remember that. So anyways, dudes, I will catch y'all on the next one. It's been my pleasure again. Signing off. In space. Here is your tip of the day. If you're ever landing while you're shooting like this and your gun jolts, never correct the weapon and let it do what it does. It will automatically go to the head 99% of the time. Right there, you're falling. Just keep it on straight and it will hit most of the time. Kind of helps you when you're running and gunning, when you need to make sure you're landing those shots. I just thought that could be useful to somebody out there. Y'all take it easy, and I'll catch y'all next time in space.